Welcome to the I Am Radio TV network. Today we are pleased to present a new premiere show, Let's Get Real, with your host, Jeffrey Miller. Now get ready to go. Interactive. Welcome to IAMTV. I am your host, Jeffrey Miller, and welcome to another fabulous Let's Get Real show. And people say, what is this Let's Get Real? Well, we could talk about that all day, but the bottom line is we need to start getting real about a lot of stuff that's happening in our world today, in our country. This is a name of a show rather than calling it an interview show, which it is primarily. However, we will have shows where we just talk and we just get some stuff out and we get real. But the interviews part of the show, which is what today is, with great people that you need to hear a message that they have and something that they've been through in their life and what they're doing with their life. This is the part about getting real too. This is something that's extremely important. It's valuable. It's information that you need to hear. And you maybe didn't know that, but you will after you get to meet Mr. A.M. Williams, who is our special guest today. I want to give you a little bit of information about A.M. Coach A.M. Williams is a results coach who specializes in helping experts transform their expertise into high leveraging offers. He is the owner of A.M. Williams Coaching Company, LLC, and has personally coached and trained numerous executives, lawyers, doctors, recording artists, and other coaches and consultants over the past 10 years from a bed-bound state. Yes, that's right, a bed-bound state, having been diagnosed with incomplete paraplegia, which is extreme weakness in the legs. Coach A.M. has discovered the gift of challenges, and he has mastered the art of transforming adversity into one's greatest advantage. He is also one of the best-selling authors of the book Resilience, turning setbacks into comebacks. Also, his own radio show, Yes, Go, which is on the bsrnradio.com and is syndicated across 300 radio stations and reaches international listeners across the UK and North America each month. Coach A.M.'s magnificent obsession is helping high-performance professionals and entrepreneurs use leverage to create the life they want. For more information on Coach A.M., you will go to www.coachamwilliams.com. Now I have the pleasure of introducing to the show Coach A.M. Brother, how are you?
Doing great. How you doing, Jeffrey?
Absolutely fantastic. And I could use the word blessed. I think blessed is a great word today.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
People say, well, you can't use that word too loosely because you can't be blessed about everything. And I said, I'm not so sure about that.
Exactly.
I believe life is a blessing when you come right down to it.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly a gentleman like yourself with health-related things happening in your life. And I've also been there myself, having been diagnosed with stage 4 terminal, what they said terminal, prostate cancer 3 years ago. We've got, let's see. I've got one of our faithfuls on the show, Sally Langlois. Thank you so very much. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Sally also said, wow, Sally is a singer, songwriter, recording artist, and the voice of the angels is what I say when Sally sings. So thank you, Sally, for joining with us today. So it is a blessing to have you with us as well. So yes, it's that word. One time I was cautioned about using the word too much, coach, and I'm like, after June 3 years ago, just this past week, 2017, being told I had 6 or 12 months to live, go get your suitcase in order, although you can't take it with you. And that's going to be the end of the rope. The train conductor is going to come down the aisle. He's going to punch the ticket and you're getting off the next stop. I didn't like that. That was, you used the word, the challenge. You were challenged and help those overcome challenges. We had a great discussion just over a week ago, and we talked about that. We talked about the challenges of life and some of the stuff that kicks us in the A, what you know, S. And it's tough stuff. It's tough stuff. If you could please, everybody I know is going to love to hear from you as to, how have you gotten from then till now?
Yeah, wow. So I'm going to try to give you a very short, um, a brief synopsis of what happened in my life. 20 years ago, Jeffrey, I was at the prime of my life. I had a great banking career. I had a wife. I had a beautiful baby girl. And one morning, I woke up and life handed me a card. And before I knew it, the doctors were telling me I had 2 weeks to live.
Wow.
I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know what was going on. I ended up losing my marriage. I lost my banking career. I was diagnosed incomplete paraplegic. I was mad at God. I was mad at my ex, and I felt so ashamed and limited. I literally shut myself off from the world. And I was just blaming everybody. But one day I got to the point where I stopped. I stopped blaming everybody and everything for what was going on in my life. And I reached out to get some help so that I could confront what was really going on and holding me back in my life. And as a result of that clarity that I received, I went on and built an international online radio show. I built a multiple six-figure practice and achieved 3 college degrees, all from a bed-bound state. You see, what I'm a firm believer of is that when you get tired of living beneath your potential, when you get tired of not getting the results that you want in your life, when you get tired of being undercompensated and overwhelmed, you stop blaming everything else. You stop looking outside of you for solutions and you start turning inward and you start saying, you know what, maybe it's not the programs, maybe it's my programming that's creating the issue. And when you do that and you get the courage, you muster the courage to face, to look inside of yourself and face what's really going on and confront what's really holding you back. Even more than that, just confront and come into the knowledge of who you truly are and what you have the power to do. You soon discover that you have the ability to come back and come up from anything. And that's exactly what happened in my life. Started 20 years ago. And as a result of today, I'm able to help individuals do just that very thing. Tap into who they truly are and what they truly want for for their lives, and show them how to leverage what they've been given in talent, skills, gifts, abilities, expertise, relationships, even adversity, how to utilize it to create more of the life that they want.
Wow, profound. Oh, goodness. I have met a lot of people that have been through what we call the adversities of life, the challenges of life. I happen to be one of them. And people look to me sometimes, Coach, and they say, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you did it. How can you get up in the morning and have such a positive attitude knowing that this could be your last day? I said, those of us that have been faced with and being dealt the card and handed the ticket and said, this is the story. This is the best we think we can offer you, that have already received that, have an understanding of that. And the more they conquer and overcome that, the more they live. And they kind of look at me and go, well, I said, let me ask you another question then. You've asked me a question. I'd like to ask you a question. How do you know? How do you know when is your last second, your last moment here? Well, I guess I don't. You see, I think we have although we are in a circumstance, you with your debilitating belief, excuse me, situation, not belief. You certainly don't have a debilitating belief. Pardon me for that one. You with your situation and me with my stage 4 prostate cancer, which I'm on some heavy meds for, we have a touch of an advantage to those that haven't received that. And people don't seem to get it, though we would like to change it. We would like to turn it around and have it to be like others that just running around and having a good old time in this life, but they truly don't get it. God has a way of giving you, a person like yourself and a person like me, and this is personal belief now. This is personal belief. The situations, because I truly believe with faith that He'll never give us more than we can handle, and He knows that. He knows that. He also gives it to us as to be of service to others, to help and serve others, and to help them overcome even lesser adversities. I mean, there are so many people who have minor things happening, going on, and they can look at you, coach, and look at me and say, wow, I guess I don't have it so bad. Not only that, it becomes a tool. It's a God-given tool for us to utilize, a tool to help us get to another level as well. So I am just, first of all, I admire you, brother. I am not bedbound. I can still get up and walk. You and I are very close to the same height and stature, and this days I can say I don't feel that I can. Today, I actually got up and walked. I walked today, and it isn't that I don't get up and walk. I went out and walked. So I feel very blessed today to be able to get up and get moving and still be mobile. I look at the situation, and you're a happy person. You're a happy man, though you would be, I know, you'd love to be not in this situation. There's no question. So, wow, God bless you, brother. You are certainly that for others.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing of it is, when it really comes back, what it really comes back to is, we've heard so many times, it's not about what happens to you in life, it's about how you respond to it.
That is so true.
And it's really about, well, I call it being conditioned by your condition.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people, even without incomplete paraplegia, without health challenges, they are very much conditioned by their circumstances, conditioned by, something that's going on in their life. They're conditioned by what they have allowed themselves to be victimized by. And it's not that you didn't have something horrible happen to you in your life. It's not that you didn't encounter something in life that literally knocked you to your knees or paralyzed your potential in some degree. It's just how you respond to that thing. And if you're serious about, the amazing thing I tell people is that the way that we were created, God, when you look at the scriptures, He even told us, like He told us that we were created in His image and in His likeness, and we were given the ability to rule, subdue, and have dominion. And then after He gave us that, He gave us a body.
Yes.
What many people don't understand is we were given the ability to do all of those things before we even had a body.
That's amazing.
We could multiply, we could subdue, we could rule, we could have dominion. We were given the ability to dominate before we had a body. We were given the ability to dominate before we could even breathe.
Mm.
So nothing you go through in this physical realm has the ability to keep you from living out the purpose for which you were created to live. And once you come from that understanding, then you realize it's not about what happened to you. It wasn't about the card that life handed me or you.
Correct.
It's not about that. And it's definitely not about the programs and things that we invest into that promise this or that, or people who walked out on us and the things that didn't work in the past. It was none of that stuff.
How true.
We're not getting the results we want because of the way we're showing up in life.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you are already hearing some golden nuggets from Coach A.M. Williams, and I trust. And by the way, if you've got some questions or comments, please do not hesitate to put them in the chat. We are dual broadcasting both to YouTube and to the IAM Radio TV page on Facebook today. But get a pen and a piece of paper ready because you're going to hear some nuggets. And you need to write them down because these are words of wisdom to live by. Thank you, brother, for that.
Pleasure.
I'm just, I know what it's like to go through what I'm going through, and I have such compassion, my level of compassion for others that go through these things as well. But to get up and get going and start a business. So how did that all come to be?
Well, ironically, I was in the hospital. And that was when I've had my first surgery, when they told me you need to have this surgery, or there's a chance you could possibly die.
Right.
And so they were looking to find out. Said I had cyst on my spine, and they needed to operate immediately. So I was immediately admitted into the operating room after going into the emergency room, thinking I may have pulled a groin or something. And I was in there, and over the next couple of days, they ran tests. Then they had the surgery. After that surgery was over, I probably did maybe 3 days of physical therapy, and they sent me home. Now, at that time, I was like 28 years old.
Right. That's
And
young.
when you come through something like that, you almost feel immortal. It's like nothing can stop me. And so you move forward into that, and because I did not learn the right techniques when it came to walking on different levels of terrain, different types of terrain. I didn't understand how to navigate properly. I didn't do these things properly. I was so
Well, we got a little bit of an internet glitch here. Here we go.
because I didn't do it properly. It messed me up. Accumulated a lot of scarred tissue, and it impaired. Actually, it made a bad situation worse. It made a bad situation worse, and I ended up creating a bunch of scar tissue in my back, and eventually the shunt came out. And when it was time to have it replaced, when they went back into the back again, they had to pull out all that scarred tissue. And that's what left me incomplete paraplegic, which is literally just extreme weakness in the legs. That all of that scarred tissue was what kept me from being able to get back on my feet. So in the process of them changing the shunt and doing the getting rid of the tissue, then I had to learn how to live life, from a wheelchair. And if that wasn't bad enough, contracting MRSA in the operating room, that just made a bad situation even worse. And the MRSA was the thing that really, created so much, why it took so long, because it ended up lining my skin for like 3 years dormant, and then all of a sudden came up to the surface and made my skin explode in several different places. So I spent, the better part of 7 or 8 years in and out of acute care facilities, ICU, CCU, nursing homes. In my 30s, this is where I spent my time. So while I was in that period of time, I kept hearing this voice in my head that was saying something in your life could be leveraged to create something you wanted. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I knew I was too optimistic to be downtrodden. So I would start motivating people in physical therapy. And I said, you know what? I got to get the word out, man. Like I can't stay locked into this world. So I figured out how to do an online radio show, and I just started getting up there and I was pouring out to people. I was really talking to myself, but I was pouring out to people and sharing a very inspirational message to them. And when I came back to physical therapy, I was encouraging other people who were taking their first steps and doing that. And someone told me one day, they said, "Man, you are a great coach." And I'm like, "Well, I played sports, but I don't know what a coach is. You know, I'm not a sports coach." And they said, "No, you're like a life coach, a motivational."
Yeah.
So I went online and found out what that was, and it sounded like what I was doing, and I wanted to get into being motivational and helping people with life. And I soon discovered what being a life coach really was and got certified in it. And before I knew it, man, I had a business in the hospital. I had a radio show and I had a coaching practice. The doctors would tell the nurses, put up a sign on the door that
Oh, that's
says,
beautiful.
"Please do not disturb. He's recording." He's recording. I can't make this stuff up. It was magical how it happened. But
Live on air.
yeah, right from the hospital, in my bed, I was doing this, and before you know it, I started getting responses, and then people started inquiring about hiring me as a
There you go.
coach. And it was there in the hospital that my coaching business and my radio show was started from a hospital. From a hospital. And this is in the process. It wasn't just about being in the hospital. I'm taking one of the most harshest antibiotics known to man 2 to 3 times a day, on top of several other medications. And I had the frame of mind to encourage other people. And people were, to the degree that they were inquiring about hiring me. So I took my first clients in the hospital. They never even knew I was in the hospital.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great,
That's how
great
it started.
real life story. I mean, I can see it now, the red light flashing live on air, do not disturb. Not surgery in progress or anything.
On air.
Oh God, I love it. Amen, amen. Oh my goodness. So, and then as in talking with you that week and a half ago and doing a little bit of back and fact checking, doctoral school, business and physical therapy. How are you managing it all?
Well, when there, between everything I'm doing, between doctoral school to running my business and physical therapy, it's a common thread between it all. And that's just the desire. It's more life. More life is like a universal law. Like everything that was created by God seeks to be more of itself.
It's expansive.
Raymond
That's
Hollywood.
expansive. Yep.
Yeah, Raymond Hollywood talks about filling your space and
Right.
becoming more and evolving. And once we fill our space, we become more. We metamorph into this greater thing. Once you get educated at one level, you metamorph into a higher
Mm-hmm.
level of
Mm-hmm.
education. When you get one skill down and you fill your space there, you metamorph into something greater. You serve a while, you get promoted, and you just continue to keep serving at higher levels. And so that literally is what took place, you know, within me, is that I just have that drive and desire to just get everything that's in me out of me. I desire for God to get full expression in my life. And the way
Wow.
that I do that is I have to say yes to my desires.
Mm.
Because what most people don't know is that the word desire comes from a term that actually translates into "of the Father."
I didn't know that. That's what you got me
We
on
don't
that
even
one.
realize. Yeah. So our desires are literally God given. They're God given. And so it's like his way of telling us, this is how I choose to express myself through you in the earth. So why
Wow.
would I say no to my desires? I
Exactly.
follow them, and what's needed reveals itself on the path.
There you go. And you know, more than likely, more and more and more people are starting to come up to that understanding, but there's still a lot that are not. There's still a lot that hear and they have a desire, but they don't have it within their heart to open themselves up and let it out. My word is transformation. Seek godly transformation, and you shall be transformed. Um, I've used the hashtag quote unquote I am transformational. And I was asked that question, what do you mean I am transformational? I am is the God code. You know, the I am that I am. I said transformational is the word of our Lord, is the word of the in the good book. You know, that is the word. Be transformed by the Spirit, be transformed by the word of God. And so I am transformational means you are, no matter what is going on in your life, you are transformational. You have the ability to take and make that change. You know, Zig Ziglar said it best a long time ago, you know, garbage in, garbage out. And more people are just letting garbage come in, and all that comes out is garbage. And if they try to change, it's just changing to more garbage. It's another form of garbage. But when you get into the word, and we let that be our guiding and deciding factor, then what you are talking about and what I've gone through in transformation, that is metamorphosis as well. That's the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, being an ugly, a beautiful little caterpillar. You know, they're cute and fuzzy and whatever. Next thing you know, they turn into this ugly thing, and then they come out this gorgeous butterfly. That's God's creation right there. If
Yeah.
there isn't, I don't know what better example there is. You know, we are not butterflies, but sting like the bee is more like it, I think. But when you look at this, and we look at how many people that you and I can think about that have overcome such major obstacles in their lives to just go on and be such a blessing for so many other people. People are looking up to them. They're looking up to you. They even tell me they're looking up to me, though I haven't quite figured that out yet. I guess I don't want to say I'm proud, because that having too much pride is not good either. We can be
Oh no, but
proud of.
you're a very inspirational force. You're very inspirational. You are not just transformational. You yourself are transformation.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
You
that.
you are transformation, and what we have to really grasp, like you talked about the caterpillar and the butterfly. When the butterfly comes forth, not only does it change shape and form, it's now guided by a higher level law.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When as a caterpillar, all it could do is just eat the dust of the ground.
Mm.
But when you step into the butterfly in you, you step into the best version of yourself, and you operate at a different dimension. You operate in a higher level law. You're no
Hmm.
longer eating the ground, the dirt. You're now flying. You
Amen.
are you're being able to soar and to move and to do, and on top of all of that, you look great doing it. And so helping people to make that transformation, helping people to step into the higher version of themselves, stepping into their best selves. That process, though painful, is a very beautiful process. And your ability, my ability, whomever who works in transformation, the ability to do this, it's an amazing work, because just seeing what's inside of us come to fruition is one of the biggest gifts we've been given. The ability to help a person see what's inside of them come to fruition. That's
Wow.
that's God's work, man.
I love how we can take creatures in nature and give them, which are God's creation as well as we are. They were probably, I think, here before we were, as we read the book, to be able to take them and utilize them as an example. And ladies and gentlemen, I suggested earlier, you better have a pen and you better have a piece of paper, because you're going to get some nuggets. And these are words to live by. And when you recognize, after you write these words down and these expressions that come out from Coach AM, they're profound. They are profound, and they're from a man who's been there and done that. So listen, write them down, because they are going to help you. This is transformational coaching at its best, right here, what you're getting today. So thank you for that. And
I'm a pleasure, my friend.
I want to ad lib a little bit here. I had the pleasure of being on a show last night with Jennifer Moran, and it was her show. And Jennifer, if you listen on the replay or you hear live, I apologize. I don't remember the name of your show, but the featured guests, and I almost said stars, and I'll tell you why. The featured guests were none other than the TV actor Glenn Morshaw and our great friend Jim Gardner.
Oh yeah.
And Jim Gardner is just, he's been a brother. I could called him brother now for. Well, long story. He and I actually met the first time that he and I met Glenn Morshaw about 8 years ago in L.A. I didn't realize we both met him almost the same time at the same event. And some other people that both of us are very close with and friends with. And you see each other and you don't see each other. And lately, who's seen who? We haven't been anywhere.
Right.
But that said, when Jennifer wrote up the banner for the to present Glenn onto the show, she said, a star. And he said, no, I am not a star. I am a TV personality, or I'm an actor. He said, but I'm not going to call myself a star. And it was very interesting that came up. And he's very humbling to speak with and to get to know the man, because his whole thought process is about what we're talking about right now. And those that think they're all that in a bag of some kind of potato chip, that walk around with their thumbs under their armpits, I'm the best, I'm the star, look at me. Not real. They have attained a level of success financially, but that's about it. Now, we recognize money buys a lot of things, but it doesn't buy you the ticket to heaven. So let's be serious. So it's quite interesting, but that was a great show last night. I'm giving them a little shout out, and that's all thanks to, and I might as well do it now and get it out to our good friend Kyle Wilson, which is how we know each other. And the buddy, Mr. Kyle Wilson, I got to give a shout out. The Inner Circle Mastermind that you and I both belong to.
Yeah.
Like, wow, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like some more information on that, I'm just some phenomenal people. And, Kyle, people say, who's Kyle Wilson? Well, if you've heard of Jim Rohn, Kyle is a man behind the scenes for 18 years with the late great Jim Rohn. And one of the things that always stuck with me, Jim said, you will become like the 5 people you hang around with the most. It's another one of those little sentences and expressions, like when you think about it, you go, so that's what our mastermind is. We're not necessarily going to be each other, but we're going to pick up the nuggets from each other. We're going to be able to ask each other for support. We're going to be asking each other for business help. I know you're working with one of the Inner Circle Mastermind members right now. I am as well. And wow, you and I are going to be off air, doing some collaboration and discussion, and absolutely fantastic connections that would not be if it wasn't for that mastermind. So thank you, Kyle Wilson. But we went back, we talked last night, or they did, excuse me. I was not on that show. I was just typing in some little messages, and they talked a lot about, the reference to, Glenn has this water. He had a glass of water on a stool, and he set it there with like a light shining on it as he came on stage to speak to about 400 people. And he said, what is this? And they said, it's a glass, it's water. Yeah, well, it is, but do you not recognize what it really is? And everybody was just like, what is he talking about? Well, he had actually gone down to the ocean, to the Pacific, with a glass and waded out into the surf and got a glass of salt water and brought it in and set it on. He does things like this all the time. It's quite amazing. And sets it there and said, "This is not just a glass of water. This glass, what's in this glass, represents the whole of the Pacific Ocean. And don't limit yourself." And it going on from that, and oh my goodness, just amazing and profound. So that's just a little, but thank you, Kyle Wilson, for all these connections. And like, as I was going to say, folks, Kyle Wilson is the man behind the scenes. 18 years, the business manager for Jim Rohn. And people say, "Well, who is Kyle?" That's who Kyle is, and for many others whose names I won't say at this time. We chatted a little bit about adaptive resilience, and I think I'm saying it right. Talk to us about adaptive resilience, if you would.
Well, it's actually a term that's related in art. Mark Robertson, he talked about it in saying that he defined adaptive resilience as the capacity to stay true to core purpose while absorbing disturbing circumstances and still having the ability to adapt and make changes without compromising, the core values and structure and beliefs of, but he was talking about it in relation to art. And I saw an application with that with human beings, because in life, we all go through something,
That's for
but
sure.
our ability to be able to absorb what it is that we go through and still have the capacity to stay true to what we believe, our core beliefs and our core values, while absorbing that situation. Notice, it's not running from that situation. It's not dodging that situation. It's not being removed from that situation. He said absorbing that situation.
Wow.
And then being able to adapt with integrity to that situation and move forward. Basically move forward. I'm paraphrasing it, but yes, that's literally what it's about. Our capacity to be able to do that thing. And the piece is that it's something we all have, but our capacity, it's like faith. Our capacities are different. We all have the measure, but it's a development, so to speak, of that adaptive resilience. That is and the only way that develops is through practice. You become more resilient. You go through things. And so I tell people, whenever I'm looking for a coach or mentor, I'm looking for somebody with a limp, meaning I'm looking for somebody who's been through something.
There you go.
If you haven't been through anything, I'm not going to learn much of anything from you. So I don't look for somebody who's, shining bright, never had a struggle, no challenge, because it's not my story. I'm used to dealing with people who have dents and limps, and they're a little off. One arm's a little longer than the other. They have some, they have a little, they have different things going on. We spend a lot of time in the body shop. These type of human beings like us, we can't work 5 days straight. We got to go down sometime and take some time off. Those
Yes,
type of
sir.
individuals.
I
It is
appreciate
those
that.
type of
Yeah.
individuals that you learn the most from, because these people are battle tested. They're battle
Wow.
tested. They've gone through the storms of life, and they're still here, Jeffrey.
Yes, they are. They've
What is
shown the resilience. They've shown it.
the most
But they had,
powerful testimony you and I have is I'm still here.
Here. Amen to that. Amen to
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I when I read adaptive resilience, I said, wow, I focused on that. And I said, resilience meaning to have strength, to develop strength. It's a resilience to something. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built. It's built up and it's earned. That resilience. And adaptive meaning to be able to adapt to it, to go from like the metamorphosis situation, to go from one situation to another, and then adapt and readapt. And life is that. Everyday people don't recognize it, nor do they ever think about it. But they have to adapt. I mean, look what we've all just gone through for the last 3 months. Woo! I mean, we're not even going to go down that rabbit trail right now. A rabbit hole, I guess, ain't even a trail. It's a hole. But with everything that's still going on, can somebody say they've been able to adapt? Were they able to? Did they have the resilience to get through it? And were they able to adapt as a result? Well, I sure hope so. Even at a smaller level than what you've been through, and you are going through, and what I've been through, and what I'm still going through, because they're not dealing with what we're dealing with, because we're taking it on at a much higher level. The game ain't the same. No matter what they're whining and fussing about, their game ain't the same as our game. No,
and,
sir.
And they don't really understand how that translates into business either, Jeffrey.
No, they don't.
Because everybody wants to scale.
Right.
Everybody wants to scale. Everybody wants to scale. Everybody wants to go higher. And we can go higher. But if you never learn how to adapt, you can't go higher, because you're thinking that what got you here can take you there. And it can't.
No,
At every level of success, you have to adopt a new mindset.
Right.
You have to adapt a new way of doing things. So it's really in the valley that you learn how to scale, because it's in the valley that you learn how to adapt to changing circumstances without losing who you are.
Ooh, yes.
So when people scale and they go to higher levels, they get there. Their talent got them there, but their character can't keep them there.
No, sir.
Because they didn't have adaptive resilience. They didn't have the ability. They didn't have what it took to scale with integrity and be able to do it from level to level to get to where they need to go. And that's the key.
Oh, wow. When I think of God's creation and the levels that in this universe that he created, which is just expanding at all times. It's ever changing. And, people say, think outside the box. Well, God's outside the box because he created the box. And if it's ever expanding, that's where he is. No matter what we come across, no matter what happens, no matter what level of exploration we do to other planets or anything else, God is still a creator. And the marvel of this creation is just unbelievable, and it is so taken for granted. And earlier we were talking about it's a vibration of frequency as well. God's vibration of frequency. And when we hear that you've got the ability to hear it. You say, "Écoutez, what was that?" Yeah, I got that one. Thank you very much. Amen. I got it. Thank you. And Glenn Moshaw talked about that last night as well. He said, I never ignore that. I don't care if it comes in the shower. I don't care when it comes to me. I could be getting on and off an airplane going between Los Angeles, Dallas, and shooting for the show The Resident in Atlanta, Georgia. All right. If I hear it, I believe it, and I enact on it. And folks, think about that. That's profound. If you do not do that, and it doesn't mean to run around in circles and go in 100 different directions, but it all correlates. It all goes to the right place. Just focus on it and allow God to bring it to you. And just, you don't have to understand everything. You just got to have enough faith and enough belief, and get on your knees once in a while and say, yes, I'm hearing you. Give me some more and you'll be fed. Because that's what it's taken for me to get to where I am. And I will thank the good Lord for the day that I found that which was pre-cancer, because I was ready for the cancer. And now I can't waste the cancer. I have to do something with it. I have to help others that are either going through it, that have cancer, or other debilitating issues and illnesses and things in life. Even this, the debilitation that goes on inside this head, is amazing out there right now. Especially when we think of the racial problems all over again. Oh, wait a minute, they never went away? Oh, I didn't know that. Because they shouldn't be there to begin with. We're all the same. God created us all. But again, I can't go down that hole today but we need to someday, because it needs to be discussed. That's talking about getting real. It's also with the looting and the rioting and all that stuff. What are people even thinking about? They're not. And they're certainly not on their hands and knees. And if some one of them wants to get in touch with me and call me wrong, I'll take it. If they get on their hands and knees and pray to the good Lord, maybe for forgiveness, and then never do it again, because that's the only way you're getting up there. But man, when you think about all this going on out there, I knew this was going to be a great show. I knew we were going to go there. But it is a truth. Yeah, America, wake up. There's only one person in charge, and that's our Creator. And he sent his son here to try to fix the mess that was from before 2,000 years ago. And he came here humble with a towel in his arm and said, how may I serve you? How many people are thinking about that while all this is going on? Yeah, it's bad to get sick. It's bad to have an injury. It's bad to have a debilitation like Coach does, or cancer to the 4th degree like I have. But you know what? We do our day. We move forward in a day. This man does, and I do, and there's plenty others that do as well. So you can, if you're up and calling yourself normal, and you can jump up out of bed and run out the door and go to do this and do that, count your blessings. Anyway, wow. Whew. It is. It's profound. It's profound. And the stuff that's going on today, goodness gracious. So I want to get back, and I need to get back to secrets of your success. And I think by now somebody ought to be able to pick it up and understand it, but I'd love to hear it.
The real secret, if there is a secret success, is understanding that you already are.
Amen.
I don't have to become anything. I'm already that. And so life is not about becoming something you weren't. Life is about manifesting more of who you already are. Stepping into your best self is not about becoming somebody different. It's literally about manifesting more of who you already are. I'm not talking about the you that goes around every day and finds 10,000 things to blame or why they can't be successful. I'm talking about the you were designed to be, the you that's down on the inside of you, the you that the butterfly in you, the you that's waiting,
Right.
the one that's been created to make an imprint and impact the world. I'm talking about that person. That's the person. And every time we make a step to better ourselves, to put what's in us, I call it putting what's in you on the menu.
I
Every
like that.
time we do that, Every time we do that in life, we position ourselves to show people more of who God is expressing himself as through us. We allow
Wow.
him to be a full expression, and we allow him to see, we allow the world to see who he is in us. People look at your life every day, the fact that you do this show, the fact that you make the impact that you do through your coaching, the fact that you make the impact that you do through your mentoring, the fact that you make the impact that you do literally in just networking and just taking time and spending time with people's lives. You show people God.
I appreciate that.
That's you showing people God. That's you showing people the God in you. And every time we step up and live a life of service and live out our desires, we're showing people God in us. Squandering your
Wow.
potential, that's resisting, that's suppressing the God in you. Blaming other people, that's suppressing the God that's in you. Some of the greatest people God used in the Bible were people of great trials.
Sure were.
What that says to me is like, God, like, man, he didn't use somebody that didn't go through something. He wasn't looking for perfect people. In
Right.
most cases, yeah, everybody had a flaw. The only flawless one was Jesus.
Amen.
The rest
I
of
mean,
them had
yeah,
flaws. Everybody else had flaws. So it's not about that. It's not about being perfect. It's about the willingness. My God, it's about the willingness to allow him to be a full expression. How? Follow your desires. Go get the degree. Go start the business.
there you
Go
go.
and serve the community. Go give the money. Support the cause. Support that nonprofit. Go and understand your brother. Reach across the aisle. Seek to understand, how can you add value to somebody's life? How can your involvement in someone else's life change their life forever? Every time we ask ourselves those questions and we choose to follow the direction of those questions and execute, we show people a part of God they've never seen before.
Beautiful. How true. And what a I'm going to use the word gorgeous way to say it. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Wow.
My pleasure, my friend.
Uh, we've talked about it, how you've leveraged things throughout your disability, your life, and you have an expression called leverage without limits. Could you tell us more about that, please?
So remember, I was telling you, I kept hearing that voice that says something in your life could be leveraged to create something that you want. Well, that saying went on with me for a long time. And then when I read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, he says every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every adversity. Think about that. Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. The most powerful thing about it, he didn't say it would bring an equivalent advantage. He said it would bring the seed. Now that's exciting because everything that needs to manifest is already in that seed.
That is
All
right.
you have to do is water it
No matter how
and give
dark the
an
conditions.
environment. Water it and provide an environment for that seed to grow.
There you go.
But every adversity brings with it. Everything you go through in life is there to strengthen you, to teach you, to raise, pardon my expression, the little boy in you. It's
No, it's
all
true.
designed to grow us, to help us. We consider obstacles as things in the way. The obstacle could be the way. It's the thing that is brought into your life to help you fulfill your purpose. It's the thing that's brought that you utilize. It's the thing that keeps us humble. It's the thing that lets us know I'm not doing this. This is not all me. There's no way that this could be like, in and of yourself, you couldn't have done this. That, because of that, this thing is in your life to make sure that when you go to higher levels, when you do things, when you're healed from the cancer, when you stand up and walk and take your next steps, when you accomplish success in business, when you achieve great things or whatever else, it's there in your life to give you that uncertainty and knowing it wasn't on me. I couldn't have done this by myself.
That is a
To keep
fact.
you from getting inflated with importance, to keep you from getting inflated, because we know it couldn't have been. I look at what I'm doing in life, but for the grace of God. But for the grace of God. I know that it's not just me. So that adversity is really a gift. And that's why I said, when you can absorb circumstances, when you can absorb adversity, you don't run from it. You learn how to dance with it.
Wow.
Because it's there to teach you something, to
Wow.
make you better.
I hope you're writing this stuff down, kids, because you are getting some nuggets. Woo-hoo! Well, we've been wrapping up some time, I'll tell you what, but we're going to go over the hour, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you can stay with us. And if you're watching this in replay, thank you. I wanted to say that one of the things we have found lately as we are rebuilding this network and growing and growing and growing, we have the ability, speaking of the gift, and this is also, we believe in gifts. We believe in the gifts from our Creator. We also believe in gifting people. Gifting to people with a hand up, not a handout. And I am the founder and president of the Gift What You Need International Foundation. And it is going and growing. It's rebuilding itself too, because it's going to have a nonprofit element to it, which is all to do with coaching. So that those that really need, want, and desire to receive coaching, spiritual, mental, Christian, what's going on up here, debilitating beliefs, negative self-talk, all that stuff that holds you back and keeps you in a lower position of where you belong. If you are in a financial distress and you need some help, we're going to help. That's what it's all about. There'll be gift grants available for up to 80% of that coaching, up to 3 sessions with phenomenal coaches that are there to help you and work with you. So that said, part of the gift that I'd like to do today in building the network up to get the word out, and I would like to show you, for example, here we go. I got to get to the right thing here. This is an example right here of gift card that we are giving, and we are gifting with no smoke, no mirrors, no timeshare presentations, no hooks, no lines, no sinkers, as they say. Just an honest $100 hotel savings card in your name, good to over, that's right, read the number, hotels. And it's also available to be used with certain car rental companies now as well. That is a facsimile. That's just an example of what the card looks like. But that's our gift to anybody today. Shamelessly, I might say, we're offering this. It took me a while to think about whether I wanted to do it. I have the availability to do it with the Gift What You Need International. We do it all the time for people who gift and donate to that. But here we're utilizing it today to help us as well. So everybody that goes to IAMRadioTVNetwork.com, there's a special page you'll come out to, and you will receive one of these as a thank you for us for getting on and signing up and helping us build this network. So I want to thank you all so very, very much for that. And here we are. We're back. We're back. That was a little shameless advertisement, but a gift. It's something we'd like to give to anybody and everybody. Coach, you've got one coming. I know a number of people have said they couldn't be on live today. And I said, well, if you're not on live, I don't know if I'm going to give you the gift, but I'm only kidding. Even in replay, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch this in replay and go and sign up, the system knows that you did. Okay. Coach AM is going to be repopulating this with all of his network, and everybody is welcome. There's more than enough of them. I don't just have 5 or 10 or 15 or 20. We'll just keep her going. We'll just keep it going. We have advertisers that have paid for this. Okay, that's how it works. But this helps us build the numbers, legitimate people that want to see more of these type of shows. Wow, we were talking about making it to the top, and you had an expression. How do you make it to the top when you can't even take the stairs? I love that, and it's really hits home, because when I think about your situation right now, with prayers and hopes and expectations that the day will come that's going to heal, and you can swing those legs out of that bed and get up and walk. That is my prayer for you, brother. But in the interim, you can't walk up the stairs. So your expression is, how do you make it to the top when you can't take the stairs? I think people need to hear that one. I really do.
Well, this literally goes back to the concept of leveraging without limits.
Here we go.
And to just kind of tie one thing to the next, the concept of leveraging without limits is once you come into the truth of who you are and what you have the power to do, you can come back and come up from anything. You escape the realm of limitations and you move into a dimension of limitless. So you're no longer limited or bound by anything. Much of what limits us is self-imposed. It's the way we think about the thing that creates the limitation. So once you come into that clarity that lets you know this is who I truly am and what I have the power to do, nothing has the potential to hold you. You are completely limitless at that point. As it is true for how to make it to the top when you can't take the stairs. When you realize who you are and what you have the power to do, you stop trying to get somewhere and you realize I'm already there.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
So in the book, which is coming out in January, I talk about my stories. I share stories, insights, and things of that nature. I talk about the concept of leverage. I talk about adaptive resilience. I talk about many of these different things. But at the very core, one of the thoughts that I'm literally looking to convey is to show people that it's not so much about becoming something in life as it is embracing the fact that you already are. And as you continue to be it, you will look around and you'll find yourself in a position where you have become the thing that you've been looking for. You step into it and you be it.
Grasp that, everybody. Just grasp that. Take that in and understand it. Woo. I could tell you right now, one day soon, and I'm going to send this out into the ether. I'm going to put it out there right now. We're going to have Mr. Glenn Morshower on a call with you and I, and we're going to talk about this stuff because you and he are just going to be like, wow.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. So I put it out there to you, Brother Glenn. If you happen to see us on replay or catch wind of it, I'm going to be asking. I would love to have a show with you and Mr. A.M. Williams. It's going to be just, I'm going to say it like Zig said it, over the top. He said, reach for the top and then you'll be over the top. And then just before he passed away, he and his son Tom wrote the book, Born to Win. And now Tom Ziegler has gone on to write the book, Choose to Win. In fact, I was going over it again today. I've read it and I had to go over it again. And this one didn't come out too long ago. There it is right there. Choose to Win by Tom Ziegler. And I'll show you a little something from the inside of this, which is pretty cool. Tom got in touch with me one day. He's actually just sent me an email, text message. If I can find the right spot here, I want to show you. And it talks about, we get past this part right here. Oh, there it is right there. If I can, oh, we're not be able to get to read it properly, I guess. It's taking my green screen away. Transform your life one simple choice at a time. Choose to win. The book title is Choose to Win. It was the second book to Born to Win that he wrote with his dad. Now, transform your life one simple choice at a time. He said, that was my fault. I said, what do you mean? He said, because you always you talk about I am transformational. He said, and I thought about a word that I would use. He said, I wonder if my brother Jeffrey would mind if I use that. I said, mind? It's not my word, Tom. It's not my word. I said, the word belongs to the language. You use it. If you choose to use it and it fits for this book, Choose to Win, then by all means, do it. Do it. So I love that because it's right there. So that's what I mean when I say I am transformational, and so are you, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard Coach talk about it. You've heard the wow, we could just keep going and going and going on this one. I'll tell you what. But we are going to do this again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope and trust that you have. In fact, I know you have. If you've watched this show and you've listened to this show, or you're watching it in a replay, you will get what you will get out of it because you listen to what's being said. And I don't mean that in any negative way or condescending way. Please listen to what Coach has said because it's profound. It's life-changing. This is why this man is a super coach. And I'm blessed to call him friend and a brother.
Feeling is mutual, my friend.
Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for being with us today. It's been a wonderful hour. It's gone by quickly. I can't believe it's gone by so quickly. We will do this again, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the network goes, I'm taking a break. I'm going to be heading for the woods of Maine as of the 1st of July. So I've got a show coming up on Tuesday and possibly Thursday of next week. Although I've got some doctor's appointments next week before they're going to let me out of Dodge. So I'm trusting everything will go with that, with blood work and everything, so that they can so that they'll also let me into the other states, like crossing the border to another country now, with what's going on with this COVID thing, which I guess is on the rise again in certain states, unfortunately. So the month of July, we're going to be taking a break. There may be a show or two, but they're not going to be as often as they've been every Tuesday and Thursday like we've been. So it's a much needed break. I'm looking forward to it, as is my wife. And we're getting up to the wilds of Maine. And people in Maine are going, what do you mean the wilds? It's not wild up here. Well, compared to downtown Fort Myers, Florida, yes, it is. But it's very peaceful with beautiful lakes, etc. A much needed break. So I'm looking forward to that. So, Coach, thank you so very much, and God bless you. I'll be talking with you again soon. Thanks for being on as a very, very special guest to the Let's Get Real show and the IAMTV. And we will definitely do it again, and we'll put it together. We're probably going to have somebody else in a hot seat with us the next time, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
So any last comments, any last things, as far as I've got your contact information down below for people. Hopefully they've seen that in the tickler down below. Is there anything else you'd like to say for parting comments?
Hey, just continue to keep locking into this show each and every week whenever Jeffrey's doing the show. Powerful insights from transformation, him and itself. So make sure that you lock in and keep getting this. It's a pleasure to be here, and it would be an honor and a privilege to come back. Make sure you lock in, and remember, understand something. You're so powerful. You're so powerful because you're so uniquely made. There is not another like you on the face of this planet. Your fingerprints, nobody else can duplicate them. You have numbers on your head that nobody can even match. You're so uniquely and wonderfully made that you were giving something so unique. You were given an identity, and it's proof positive that you can do something for people that no one else can do. Lock into that. Find out what that is. That is your leverage to living out the life you truly desire.
Wow. Wow. That was beautiful. Thank you, Coach. Hang in with me after we go off here for a minute, but I'm going to finalize that. On behalf of the IAM Radio TV network, I am Jeffrey Miller in the Let's Get Real show. See us again next Tuesday and potentially Thursday. We will go to the subscribe here. There it is. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will get notifications at www.imradiotvnetwork.com. And you'll get all your information you need to know when the shows are going to be on. And there's going to be other folks having a show in the network as well, which is going to be great. Coming up in the month of August, that'll be starting. So again, on behalf of the network, I thank you, and God bless you all for being with Coach AM and I today. And we will see you on the flip-flop. Thanks very much. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.